My name is Kara, and I have been working with CoolSculpting for over 12 years. When I first started with this device, I was really amazed and surprised at working with something that actually did the trick. I've seen this machine evolve over the years. This is the third evolution that I've actually worked with. CoolSculpting, what it is, basically it's a simple science behind it. Really all we're doing is we're freezing fat cells. When you think about it, fat cells are actually quite weak. So we can drop the temperature and they'll freeze and crystallize quite easily. This will leave the skin unaffected, the nerves unaffected, and your muscles unaffected. Pretty simple. Your body just eliminates those dead cells like it does anything else. It's just waste. It does not affect your organs. So here's the thing, we're only dealing with the subcutaneous fat that sits above the muscle, so that fluffy stuff that you can pinch. The areas that you can't CoolSculpt are the ones that sit beneath the muscle. So obviously we can't reach that visceral fat that sits around the organs. We're about the fluffy stuff. We need the fluffy coating that's on the outside. Your organs are perfectly safe. They're all sat beneath the muscle walls. We won't touch those, unfortunately. We can't get to that. If we could, we probably would, but we can't. This is just about the fluffy stuff that's on the surface that you can squeeze and pinch. Is it painful? So everybody will experience things a little bit differently, I'll be honest. So with every treatment, there's going to be a little bit of something that you're going to feel. You'll feel a little bit of a tug as the cup is pulling your little bulge into the cup to freeze. You'll feel the first 5 to 10 minutes where it feels a little bit intense, almost like when you walk into the ocean. The device is dropping the temperature quite rapidly, and you'll feel that cold burn for probably anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes. That's the norm. After that point, you sit back and relax, and the cycles are anywhere between 35 to 45 minutes generally. The second point where you might feel a tiny bit of discomfort is when we actually come in to pop that little device off. You will be frozen. The freezing is going to be coming out. You'll get a little bit of a sting that will happen once we start massaging that. We're trying to get the temperature back up and get things, back up to the normal body temperature at that point. Maybe do a little bit more damage to those cells that have been crystallized. And that's another point where you might feel a little bit of a sting. That passes within about 30 seconds to 2 minutes at most. Swelling will vary from person to person, and swelling will obviously be a little bit worse in the very beginning than it will be, a week and 2 weeks after the treatment. It's more of you'll be aware that something's been done kind of sensation. So this is the spectacular thing, is that your results actually can show up as soon as your swelling goes. So let's say swelling lasts at a varying degree up to 4 weeks. Once that 4-week mark has gone and all your swelling is gone, typically people start to see results right away. I am starting to see people coming back in at around the 6-week mark with incredible results. Your results, though, can continue to improve for up to 3 to 4 months after your treatment. When we're trying to decide how many treatments people need, typically it's determined in the pre-treatment assessment. Depending on the amount of volume that you have and how much reduction you want to see in the end will determine how many cycles we need to put on you. Typically people do need a minimum of 2 treatments. And of course, if there's more volume reduction that you're desiring, then maybe we need to apply it an additional 2nd, 3rd, or 4th time. CoolSculpting, this is the good news, is that CoolSculpting is permanent fat reduction. It doesn't take much to get me excited, but I am over the moon that we now have the newest handpiece. This is actually called the CoolSculpting Elite, and this is the latest and greatest. Currently, we are the first people on Vancouver Island to have this device. Obviously, we can't treat anybody who's pregnant or breastfeeding for obvious reasons. We can't treat people who have open or active hernias if we're going through the abdomen. Obviously, if you're very unwell, it's probably not the best thing to do. There are some small conditions like neoglobinuria, which is an inflammation of the blood vessels. I've never met anybody, but it obviously exists. And then, obviously, any skin conditions in the treatment area we're not going to go after. We can absolutely treat C-section. C-section is actually a really fun thing to treat because it typically leaves a really good tethered down scar with skin that hangs over. And it's amazing to see some of the results where we can take away some of that fat that's in that hangover and this belly will bounce right back. So it's a beautiful treatment for somebody with a C-section scar. As long as it's over a year since it's been made. For the most part, the technology is exactly the same. It's still the same freezing technology. The hand pieces, this is where one of the changes, the hand pieces are actually a little bit larger. So they'll actually take about 18% more tissue and draw it in and treat it, which is really nice. The hand pieces are now, the older hand pieces are shaped like a U, which is fine. The newer hand pieces on the Elite are shaped more like a C. So you can see why we get a little bit more coverage. It also means that it's a little bit more gentle on you. Now, the other big bonus with this new machine is that there are actually 2 hoses that come off the back of this beauty, and we're able to put 2 applicators on you at the same time. So rather than having 2 separate machines in here to do what we used to call dual sculpt, we just have this one machine now where I can take the 2 hand pieces off the back and apply them. So in a lot of cases, we can cut your treatment time in half. Outside of that, this is a non-invasive treatment that is FDA approved. There's no surgery, there's no needles, there's very little to no downtime. Genetic bulges that you might be struggling to get rid of at the gym, that no sit-ups tend to get rid of or no side bends tend to get rid of, that is exactly what this is for. It is for those stubborn areas that, you know, geez, mom and dad, thanks. There's a new program that we have that's called an Elite membership. And with this membership, it's a one-time fee and we get to treat you to complete. So you're gonna save a ton of money working at this new model. We have a launch date on the 28th of May that is gonna be a lot of fun. We're doing complimentary consultations all day that day. And on that day, anybody who comes for a consultation, we are going to put your name into a draw to have a free treatment on the area of your choice. Well, your membership can be used whenever you're ready to get started. So from the day you start, you have 4 months from that date to complete your treatment. We have 4 months to treat you to completion. In that 4 months, we can treat you up to 3 times. So if you're somebody who does need more than 1 treatment, which most people do, this is going to save you a bunch of money. So book in for the 28th, make sure that you get a spot that's good for you. There's me and my team. It's not just me that does this. I do have a team of 2 to 3 other people that are also doing these treatments, and we're here for you. So make sure you book your consultation. You can do an assessment on you and see if it's right for you. So to wrap things up, we'll see you on the 28th. Please, reach out if you have any questions. We'll take consultations on the 28th. We've got a live demo that's happening on that day as well, so it's pretty exciting. We're going to be doing that draw for the free treatment to an area of your choice, so come on in, it's worth it. It doesn't cost you anything. Learn about it, we'll assess you and give you an idea of what we need to do to get you to your desired body. And boy, we look forward to seeing you soon.